Hello, once again, this is Antonio, and I'm coming at you with another exciting video. Now, in this video, mom would only let dad at the time do parenting time at her house. Why? Because at the time, she said dad lived with his mother, and his mother evicted him, right? So one day, allegedly to her, she came home and she found ashes in her home. But the flip side is dad let the bomb shell out. He said, Mom smokes weed. You know what I didn't like about Judge Page in this? Mom admitted in this trial that she smoked weed. And sometimes I don't like what Judge Page do. Do you have evidence of her smoking weed? Well, she admitted that she's smoking weed. She's coming in trial acting all superficial. Dad asks mom directly, can I resume my parenting time? She comes out and say, not while you living with your mother, because the police been called over there. Then dad flips and say, well, the police been called at your house and you smoke marijuana. This is the tale with two people that was formerly married, no longer married. They have children together. Mom moved on. She have since have another child with another man, and dad can't get himself on his feet right away. And you can tell that he's trying, he's struggling, but he said the kids love him. And at one point, the kids used to be with him every day. So you're going to really see how this trial kicks in and how things go about itself. But nevertheless, this is Antonio with Team Tiggio. Let's dive into the content. And then on the flip side, I want you to, let's dive into the content, and then I'll give my commentary in the end.
Take up file 2020-57126. It's the matter of Kaylin Lattin and Richard Lattin. And this is the day and time set for hearing in this matter. Ex parte order was signed by Judge Dykeman on January 20th, denying the order that was submitted, but granting the plaintiff mother extended parenting time, suspending the defendant father's parenting time until further order of the court, directing Mr. Lattin to submit to a hair follicle drug test, and setting the matter for expedited proceedings today. Both parties are here. Ms. Lattin with counsel. Ms. Corndike's here on her behalf. And matter is set for, 1:15, but everybody's here. So we'll proceed. I guess Ms. Corndike, this is your motion on behalf of your client. How do you want to proceed today?
I'd like to take some testimony from my client, Your Honor.
Okay. Ma'am, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you give in this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay.
Miss Lattin, how many children do you have with the other party?
2.
And prior to the ex parte, what was your parenting time arrangement?
5 days on, 2 days off. So it was a 5-2 schedule.
Okay. And were there any special provisions for that parenting time to occur for the other party?
Yes, the parenting time was stated that it was supposed to be done at his parents' house.
When did you find out that the parenting time was not occurring at the home of the defendant, or the home of the defendant's parents, excuse me?
That began back at some point in October.
Okay. Did you allow any sort of accommodations for the defendant to still exercise his parenting time?
Yes, I allowed Richard to come into my home with the children. I would leave while he was there. I also would allow him to spend the evening at my house with the children overnight, and I would go to a hotel or find other accommodations for myself and my infant for the evening.
And approximately how long were you allowing the parenting time to occur in your own home?
Approximately 2 months or so. I'm not sure of an exact time frame.
Okay. And do you know the reason why the defendant could not have the parenting time at his parents' house?
He was evicted from his parents' house.
What happened on the parenting time that led you to file this ex parte?
On Tuesday, before the order was filed, Richard stated he wanted to see the children, so he come over to my house. He was supposed to watch Maisie that day. I did not have childcare for her that day at the daycare. He was supposed to arrive and pick her up and then leave. Once he arrived, his vehicle began having issues, so he was not able to leave in his vehicle that he arrived in. So I had given him permission to stay at the house with her until a ride got there to pick them two up. And then I left for work. Richard ended up staying at the home with Maisie the entire time I was at work that day. That evening when I arrived home, I explained that he wasn't going to stay the night. He wasn't going to stay there with me and the children, that he could go. And at that time, he stated the kids wanted to be with him. So rather than having an argument ensue, I allowed him to leave with the children on my parenting time. He then broke down on the side of the road at 8:40 in the evening with my children, with no heat, no nothing, called me very upset that the car was broke and that him and the kids needed picked up. I stated that I would come pick the kids up, but I was refusing to allow him to come back to the home with me, and that I was just going to pick him up. To avoid confrontation, I had my father go pick up the children from him on the side of the road. That way there wasn't an issue in front of the children.
At that time, did you find anything else in your home that led you to be concerned?
So when I arrived that day back home after work with Luke and my youngest child, I have an infant that is not Richard's. I noticed the house had an odd burnt smell to it. Upon further examination, when I walked into the bathroom, I found my bathroom window open, which was cracked. It's January. There's no reason for the bathroom window to be open. And then there was ashes laying on top of my garbage can that was in the bathroom.
And how do you know that those ashes weren't simply from a cigarette?
I do not smoke cigarettes, nor does anybody smoke cigarettes in my house.
Okay. Does the defendant smoke cigarettes?
No, not to my knowledge. He uses chewing tobacco.
Okay. Can you describe the odor more specifically?
A burnt rubber smell is the closest way I can put it. Like hot super glue, maybe.
Is this a smell you had ever smelled before in your home?
Not in my home, no.
Is this a smell you've ever smelled before?
Yes, I have had this or smelled this before on Richard, on himself, and within his vehicle.
Has he ever provided any explanation to you about what that smell is?
No, I haven't ever required an explanation for it, I guess. I have never asked.
And why do you believe then that the defendant is utilizing methamphetamine?
His behavior. He has become irrational when it comes to certain things. He is not taking care of himself physically. He has went downhill with his hygiene. He is not able to obtain a job. There is several factors that lead me to believe he is using methamphetamine again.
Was this a problem with the defendant in the past?
Yes, unfortunately.
Is he exhibiting some of the same signs that you had noticed in the past?
Yes. And that was my main concern. His body odor smell when he was using previously, it was very distinct, and that has returned.
To the best of your knowledge, does the defendant have anywhere to reside with the children?
No. And which is my concern, is when he has the children for his parenting time, I do not know where my children are going. I do not know if there's food in the house. I don't know who they are around, which makes me uncomfortable as a mother with the situation he is in right now.
Since entry of the order, has the defendant provided to you any sort of drug test?
Not to me, no. He has tried to contact me and asked to see the children. I have ignored him.
What would you like to see the court do?
I would like the court to continue with the order as it is now until Richard is able to provide a safe place for the children to go, has a job and a working vehicle in order. He has no safe transportation for the children. He doesn't have a job to support the children. When he left that Tuesday, he was taking food from my cupboards to feed the children when he left.
Would you also like to see negative drug screens?
Yes, most certainly.
Would you be opposed to allowing the defendant some sort of supervised parenting time?
At this time, yes, because I would like Richard to do the things he needs to do before he sees the children again. I need some motivation, unfortunately. He was supposed to get a job, get his own place and a vehicle when we settled in divorce court back in 2022 in March. And it's been almost a year now, and he has not been able to obtain a job. He has not obtained his own place to live. And the car he had, he ran into the ground until it blew up on the side of the road.
And that's the car that you had to go pick up the children from? Okay.
My father went and picked up the children from him,
Right.
yes.
Yes. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Sir, do you have any questions for Ms. Lattin?
Oh, absolutely, sir. Also for the record, I have my father sitting here with me as well.
That's fine.
Now that Tuesday, I recall I had gotten pulled over in the driveway, and the police officer told me that that vehicle is not allowed to leave the premises. I was coming there to watch my daughter, and I would be more than
Objection,
willing.
Your Honor. This is actually more of a statement. He needs to ask specific questions of my client.
Well, I'm getting to that part. I want to ask why she had lied to the court of my arrival to that place and the leaving of my vehicle, knowing that it was not supposed to leave. She sent me out of that house with the children.
All right, well, you're kind of I haven't sworn you in. Ms. Lattin is the witness right now. She's testified. You can ask her questions that you have regarding this matter. I'll give you a chance to testify, don't worry.
Yeah.
But right now is your opportunity to ask her questions as she's the current witness.
Okay. I have submitted to the drug screen, and knowing that with a place to live and everything, or so I could see the kids, there'd be supervised visits. Still, can I see them? In the order, it says that the plaintiff's mother shall have extended parenting time with the minor children of the parties until further order of the court. I am currently sitting in my parents' house, and that is where everything would reside.
Is there a question in there for Ms. Lattin? I mean, it sounds like you're asking.
Can I see the children here? It was my question.
Okay.
I think that's the question to you. Miss Lattin. He's asking you a question.
I would like Richard to have the necessary things in order before he is able to see the kids. So having a place to stay is great. However, his parents and him, with him being evicted, they have been arguing nonstop. I do not feel that his parents' house is a good environment for the children to be in. There's been conflict. The cops have been called. There's been multiple incidents where I have had to leave my home and go pick up my children because Richard and his parents are arguing enough that the cops are being called.
The cops have
I do
been
not-
called
All right, hold
as
on.
well.
I don't want you to argue with her. I'll give
I'm
you
not
a chance to
arguing.
Testify. Just ask your question.
The cops have been called at her house as well, and assault too.
You're testifying now.
Yeah.
Correct.
Testifying.
How about the marijuana smell and current drug use for that in my kids' home with their mother for ashes on top of trash cans? There's a lot of drug use down there, but none of it is ever talked about. Can some of that be used as to stay away from my children?
You
I
don't
guess-
know that they're. Go ahead, Miss Lattin.
I am confused.
I think he's asking if you smoke marijuana.
Marijuana is used, however, it is not used in front of the children, nor is it used in the home while the children are present.
I have a question if I'm allowed.
No, you're not.
You're not, sir.
Yeah. I would imagine not.
Mr. Lattin, do you have any other questions for Ms. Lattin?
Has the beating of my son stopped? He would complain to me several times that his mom has smacked him in the head. I'm, I guess, really concerned with my son and how he is doing, because both kids have a very, very emotional attachment to me. I took care of them for the last 2.5 years more than their mother had did up until this point. I've seen them every day. I had them every night, except for they'd go with their mom here or there. I even take care of their newborn baby brother at the house, and I brought him home from the hospital as well. So I've just got a lot of concerns on the safety of my children too.
Okay, then you should file a motion regarding custody or parenting time and voice those concerns. I can only deal with things that have been pled, okay? So let's cut to the chase here. Ms. Lattin, your motion said that Mr. Lattin had been evicted. He had no place to do his parenting time. There was a PPO between him and, I guess,
His father. who's
and
sitting-
that he was using drugs, okay? These other things about maybe some arguments in the house or some stuff like that, that's not in your motion. I can't really base a decision on that today. Mr. Lattin, you said you had a drug test there. What do you got?
I had to submit to a hair follicle test is what the order had issued, and I had done that the other day, and I'm currently waiting the results. It was at Accurate
Screen?
Yep, AccuScreen in White Cloud. I paid $160 for that, and I had talked to Michelle the other day. So she said if I do not get a phone call, I pass, and they'll send you guys the results.
All right, Ms. Korndike, you haven't gotten the results yet, or?
No, I have not, Your Honor, and
Yes.
I don't think that we should be allowing parenting time until that drug screen comes back.
Well, I thought you said you had a drug test in your hand there, sir.
I have the receipt for the payment for it.
Oh, okay. So what about you being evicted from your parents' house? What's going on there?
What was going
Let me
on
swear you
there?
into. Let me swear you into, just so we're doing this. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you give in this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right. Where are you living now?
I'm currently at my parents' house.
You're there right now, but where are you living? Where do you sleep? Where do you
I've
live?
been living here since this past weekend.
Okay. Did you move out for a while?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
What led to that?
The back and forth between my kids' home and here, there was a lot of arguments. There was a lot of her and my mom. It wasn't so much my mom's fault. It was her playing my mom and then sending me something else in return, which led me and my mom to argue. And when we finally got things straight and the facts straight, it was more we came together to help each other, not be so much against each other.
So is there a PPO, a personal protection order between you and your dad?
It's not saying that I cannot be here, but there is one.
What does it say?
I do not have that order in front of me, sir, but as far as I'm aware, it says that there's no fighting or arguing at the homestead.
Doesn't say you can't be within so many feet or whatever?
No,
You can't be on property owned by him?
it doesn't say that.
Oh, all right.
May I speak?
Who's that?
Kaylin.
Oh, no, hold on. So you did the drug test, waiting on the results. There is a PPO, but it doesn't prohibit you from being together. Okay. And you were evicted or you were asked to leave, but now you're back?
Yes.
All right. And your dad's right there with you?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me see him too.
Okay.
Hi, sir. What's your name?
Richard Lattin.
Okay. And you're the other Richard Lattin's dad?
Correct.
Okay. And he was living at your house for some period of time?
Correct.
Moved out for a bit,
Yep.
but now he's back?
Correct.
Able to live there for the foreseeable future?
For the time being, until he gets his own place. Yes.
Okay. And what led you to file for the PPO?
There was a lot of arguing going on, and I didn't want any violence, arguing, or any of that. And that's what the PPO states.
All right. It doesn't prevent you from being together though?
No, it does not.
And okay, so he's got a place to live. His basic needs are met at your house. He has a place to sleep and food to eat and stuff like that.
Yes.
Do you know if your son is working?
He is currently searching for employment.
Does he have a vehicle?
Not right at the time.
Okay.
We're working on getting a car fixed for him.
Okay. Before all this went down, your son and Mrs. Lattin were splitting time equally with the child, right? Or the children. Is that right?
Well, not necessarily equally. They were here more than not. They were here quite a bit.
All right. Well, on paper, they were supposed to have 5 days with one, 5
On
days with the
paper.
other, and then alternate
Paper, they
weekends?
were, yes.
Okay. So do you have a pretty strong bond with your grandchildren then?
Yes.
If it came down to it, who would you put first, your son or your grandkids, if they were there and there was some kind of issue?
My grandkids.
Okay. Does anybody else live in the home besides you and your son?
My wife.
Oh, okay. So you have a strong bond with the grandkids too?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is she on board with him moving back in?
Yes.
All right. You got any concerns about your son using illegal drugs?
I believe he is getting his life straightened around. As far as the drugs go from the past, and he has submitted to a drug test, and we're about to find out. I believe him, other than if the test comes back that he's not telling the truth.
So let's say worst case scenario, it comes back positive for something you're not happy with. What's going to happen with his living arrangements?
If it comes back that he's positive for drugs, we're going to talk about getting into rehabilitation.
Oh, okay. Okay, he'll still be able to stay there though until
Yes,
that? Okay,
because I am committed to getting him rehabilitated.
okay, all right, I appreciate that. Ms. Korndike, do you have any questions for the elder Mr. Lattin here?
Yes, please. What county is the PPO out of?
Oceana.
And when did you file that PPO?
I can't give you the specific date unless I go and obtain
That's
that
fine.
from my safe.
Could you give me a month and year, roughly?
It was just this last fall, yes. I believe it was either September or October. I'm not sure. I can go and get that out of my safe if you would like.
And was there ever a period of time where you guys were supposed to not have contact?
No,
Did your son leave your home prior to the PPO or after the PPO?
it was afterwards. He was here during it. It was just to not have violence or arguing or fighting.
Did that sort of behavior happen in front of the children?
No,
Has that behavior happened since he's moved back in with you?
no, absolutely not.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, I guess I have one more. Sir, before this order was entered, this is Friday, would Mr. Lattin, your son, have had parenting time this weekend or would it have been next weekend?
I'm not sure of the schedule.
Parenting time, Your Honor, was very hard to keep track of because I had them every day for the past, 2.5 years since it started. Except for I had the kids just about every day for the past 2.5 years since it started, except for when they would go with their mom a night, they'd come back 3 hours later.
So she said you had like a 5-day, 5-day, 2-day, 2-day schedule. You weren't.
I know that, Your Honor. And in the past, I've been saying that I've had the kids more, and I know you've told me to put in a motion the last time me and you talked, and I had tried that, and it didn't get to you guys in time, or it didn't go through to you guys, something like that. But I had put it in the mail for you guys. She wasn't at the last 2 proceedings with you and I as well, so you said that you couldn't take my word for it, unfortunately.
Well, was it a support hearing?
Yes.
It was for.
Yeah, so I can't go change in custody of the support
No,
hearing if stuff doesn't show
I
up.
know. All I'm stating, Your Honor, is in the past it's been stated that the kids have been with me way more than they have seen their mother.
All right.
I pick them up from school when they're sick. I take care of them when they're sick.
All right, well, you tell me. I mean, is the test going to be positive or negative?
It should be negative, sir.
Should be.
Should is a bit vague.
What do you mean by should? As vague. I
mean,
haven't done anything, so why would it be positive?
Okay, so then what you mean is it will be negative.
No, it will absolutely be negative.
Okay, well, you said should. That's raised my eyebrow. That's why I asked that question, because sometimes people say, well, I hope it's negative, or it should be negative, or might be negative. That tells me that there's a a possibility out there that it might not be.
For the record, I was also willing and got this done before the proceeding. I didn't wait for the 14 days either.
Oh, well, that's good. But we don't have the results yet, so I can't. All right. Ms. Korndike, anything else?
Just a closing statement, Your Honor.
All right. The client wanted to say something at one point.
Oh, yes. Ms. Lattin, do you have anything further?
My concern with allowing Richard parenting time is that he has been evicted from his parents' house. Him and his father have fought enough that there is a PPO between them. I do not believe his parents' house is a good environment for the children to be at. This is why I have taken the steps I have, because I have went over and picked the kids up in front of 3 screaming adults with every neighbor on the block watching as I'm sitting in the middle of the road trying to get my children in the car, and they're screaming at each other. So unfortunately,
that's not part of your motion, and you've known about the PPO for some period of time. You didn't file your ex parte motion when the PPO was entered.
Correct. The ex parte motion was ordered because he was told that he was not allowed to be at his parents', and now this week he's allowed to be at his parents'. My concern is next week this will change again.
I spent all last week with my kids here at my parents'. From the day after they had got picked up by your father on the side of the road, I've been here every day. I came here later that night even. I've had the kids. That was a Tuesday. I had them Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday up until the officer and you came to the house, and there was no problems.
I allowed you to exercise your parenting time.
You told me when I asked for clothes for the kids, because I took all my clothes from my parents' house down there, and my parents also bought clothes for you down there in Valentine's cards and this and that. You told me to go to the dollar store to get clothes, and then you called me 10 times after that to pick up a bag of clothes on the porch that only had 2 pairs of socks, a pair of shorts, and a shirt in it.
And a pair of pajamas and pull-up and everything the children needed for the evening, because
Not
you
in the
could not
bag.
supply
I'm
it.
not going to get into this minutia at an ex parte hearing. An ex parte motion can only be granted if irreparable harm will occur. And I mean, talking about not having.
There's no harm going to occur here, sir. There's plenty of food and everything.
Right, well, when they give you any indication when you get those drug test results?
They said within 24 hours I should have a phone call. If I don't have a phone call, then it's passed. Don't worry about it. The results will get sent to you guys. It's supposed to be sent to a lab in Ohio, I believe. Let's see, her name is Michelle. It's stated. So,
what did you get it done?
Yesterday, let's see, at time of collection, it says was 3:25, and I was there at 2:30, 2:45.
Oh, so you might get the results yet today through a phone call?
Yeah, if it's a fail, I'll have the call results, but otherwise she said they will not call me if it's passed. So far, I have not been called.
But she definitely said within 24 hours if it was, you would know one way or the other?
Because the mail, they were going out in the mail as after I was done, so.
Well, it's almost 2, so that's like another couple hours before.
I'd really love to see my children today. We're very close to each other, and everything's fine here for them.
Yeah, but the order says you gotta do that drug test. I appreciate you got it done early. I mean, that'll help.
It also says that the plaintiff's mother shall have extended parenting time with the minor children of the parties until further order of the court.
Yeah, I know. But I wouldn't feel right changing things until that other condition has been met, that being the drug test.
Well, so far, my mom has not even been able to see the kids because she was told that she could have them, and then Caitlin would not let them come.
No, Caitlin is the plaintiff mother, not your mother.
Okay.
the plaintiff mother is Kaylin Lattin. She has
Alright.
extended parenting time until further order of the court, not your mom. That would be that would say the maternal grandmother or paternal grandmother, or it might name her by name, but she doesn't have any rights in this case.
Because all my supervised visits in the past were supposed to be here.
Well, I know that.
And there's cameras. I mean, I don't know what more of a safe environment you could have them in.
I guess all I'd be really willing to do is maybe go back on the record at 3:30 or something. If you can get Michelle Lafonzi from the place to chime in and testify to verify what she tells you.
Your Honor, I won't be available. I have Judge Wicken's retirement party.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I'm not going to be available the rest of the afternoon.
You guys are going to have the results regardless. And I just want to see my children. They're here with their grandparents. I mean, there's nothing going to happen to them.
They'll come to the front of the court. They don't come straight to me. What about Monday at 4?
I believe somebody in my office will be available, Your Honor. Let me just double check really quick.
This is really late notice from my work as well, but I will accommodate as needed.
Monday at 4. Do you work on Monday, ma'am?
Mm-hmm. I have Tuesday as my day off. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I am normally anywhere from 11 to 5:30 for hours.
What day works for you then if Monday doesn't?
Tuesday is my day off.
Oh.
Tuesday is also Richard's birthday, so I believe he may want this adjourned before then so he can see the children if that's possible. I'm not opposed to him continuing to see the children, but I want to know that he is not using meth.
I've been more than willing to obtain the drug testing by actual court ruling for AccuScreen. It's not no personal test. It's not no test I can take here or somebody can just quick give me to give the court. This is actually for the court. And with that, I mean, that was completely voluntarily for me to get it done within the 14 days. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm just trying to see my kids. I see my kids absolutely almost every day forever. We have a complete bond together, them to me and me to them. All I do is want to see my children. And in the best interest of the children, right now, they're being kept away because of you guys waiting on a drug screen for me. What about a drug screen for the mother and the chronic marijuana use? Isn't it against the law to drive intoxicated or drive under the influence per se? And it takes 8 hours in a detox tank for the county if you sit for marijuana. So therefore, if you smoke marijuana 8 hours later, you drive to work, that's under the influence, whether it's with the children going to school or not school, it's still in the home, ashes, smell. I mean, I'm not doing anything.
Sir, if you have evidence she's violated the law as far as the use of marijuana,
I have
or some other substance, then
messages, videos.
Then don't interrupt me. Just listen. File your own motion. We're not here on your motion today. We're here on hers. You understand that?
I know, but so far nobody listens to me.
Well, I'm listening to you, but I don't have the drug test results. I'm trying to get this reset as quickly as possible in the little slivers of time that I have on my calendar, but because I don't want it to drag on if you're in fact negative. If you're negative, then I'll probably dismiss the motion. You got a place to live and you're negative for that. Those were the two things that were in the motion. Okay.
Correct.
I'll dismiss the motion. It'll go back to what it was, but I got to have those results before I can do that. The judge's order specifically is conditioned on that. Okay. So if you don't have the results right now, and
so what more can I do for the court size? So I
you
can
don't need to do anything else. All you need to do, you got a place to live and pass that drug test and I'm good.
Okay.
You don't need to do another thing. Okay. That's what she pled in her motion. Got it?
Okay.
All right. I'll see you Monday at 4. Hopefully you have the results by then. If you don't get a call, instead of just assuming you're negative, which, you know, is a reasonable assumption, I guess, under the circumstances, try to get Michelle Lafonzi just to chime in briefly to testify that you were negative.
Okay.
All right. She knows how to log into my Zoom. She's testified in front of me before.
Okay. Now for Monday at 4 to log in for Zoom, what should be the numbers?
Same number.
Same numbers? Okay.
Yep. Doesn't change.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, unless you go in front of somebody else. But if you come in front of me, it's that number.
My birthday is the 31st as well. I'm not sure if it was correct on Tuesday. It might be on Monday. So 27th is today, is Friday, the 8th, 9th. So it was Tuesday. So yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. All right. We're all set for now. I'll see you guys Monday at 4.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I probably won't have time. I'll have time to do the order, but it's probably not going to get to you by then. So you're not going to have a piece of paper telling you Monday at 4. Just that's what we're planning on.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. So after hearing this trial and seeing how tough it was, I think sometimes Judge Page give ladies a little too leniency. My opinion, you could put it in the comment if you don't agree. If Judge Page is one of your favorite, I definitely understand. But in this case, in this hindsight, I think that he was too lenient on Mom. When the courts provide parenting time to both parents, it doesn't matter if you have your very own home. If you have a foundation, if you're living with your mother, ladies moving with their mothers all the time or with their fathers, nobody shun them. But when a man is down on his luck and he got to move in with his mother, now, no, because I don't get along with your mother. No, I don't get along with your sister. So now I can block you from being in your children's life at the drop of a hat. But on the flip side, you better have that child support. Nevertheless, that's enough of me rambling. Thank you all for all my new subscribers. We are on the road to 10,000. Hit the notification bell. You can support the channel through Cash App and Super Chat. And once again, we